Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Sri Gadadhar Das, the 23rd branch, was understood to be the topmost, for he induced all the Mohammedan Qazis to chant the holy names of Lord Hari. Purport. About 8 or 10 miles from Calcutta, on the banks of the Ganges, is a village known as Dar Gram. Srila Gadadhar Das was known as the inhabitant of this village. The Bhakti Ratnaktara's 7th chapter informs us that after the disappearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gadadhar Das came to Navadvip to Katwa. Thereafter he came to Andiyahar and resided there. He is stated to be the luster of the body of Srimati Radharani. Just as Sri Gadadhar Pandit Goswami is the incarnation of Srimati Radharani herself, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is sometimes explained as Radha Bhava Dyuti Subda, or the characteristics by the emotions and the bodily luster of Srimati Radharani. Gadadhar is this duty or the luster. In the Gaura Gandesha Deepika, he is described to be the expansion potency of Srimati Radharani. He counts among the associates of both Srila Gaura Hari and Nityananda Prabhu. As a devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was one of the associates of Lord Krishna in the conjugal love. And as a devotee of Lord Nityananda, he is considered to have been one of his friends of Krishna in pure devotional service. Even though he was an associate of Lord Nityananda Prabhu, he was not among the coward boys, but was situated in the transcendental mellow of conjugal love. He has established a temple of Sri Gaurasundra in Katwa. In the year 1434, when Lord Nityananda Prabhu was empowered by Lord Chaitanya to preach the Sankirtan movement in Bengal, Sri Gadadhar Das was one of Lord Chaitanya's chief associates. He preached the Sankirtan movement by requesting everyone to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. This simple preaching method of Srila Gadadhar Das can be followed by everyone and anyone in any position of the society. One must simply be a sincere and serious servant of Nityananda Prabhu and preach this cult door to door. When Srila Gadadhar Das Prabhu was preaching the cult of Harinam Kirtan, there was a magistrate who was very much against his Sankirtan movement. Following in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Gadadhar one night went to the house of the Qazi and requested him to chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. The Qazi replied, "All right, I will chant Hare Krishna tomorrow." On hearing this, Srila Gadadhar Prabhu began to dance and he said, "Why tomorrow? You have already chanted the Hare Krishna mantra, so simply continue to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare." In the Gaudadish Deepika, verse 154 to 155, it is said, Srila Gadadhar Das is considered to be the united form of Chakrakanti and in the effulgence of Srimati Radharani and Purnada, who is the expansion of Lord Balaram's very dear girlfriend. Thus Srila Gadadhar Das Prabhu was one of the associates of both Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. Once while Srila Gadadhar Das Prabhu was returning to Bengal from Jagannath Puri with Sri Nityananda Prabhu, he forgot himself and he began to talk very loudly as if he was a girl of Brajabhumi selling yogurt. And Lord Nityananda Prabhu noted this. Another time, while absorbed in the ecstasy of the gopis, he carried a jug filled with the Ganges water on his head, and as he was selling milk, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in the house of Raghava Pandit while going to Vrindavan, Gadadhar Das went to see him, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so glad that he put his foot on his head. When Gadadhar Das Prabhu was present in Adiyahara, he established a Bala Gopal Murti for worship there. Srila Madhavendra Ghosh performed the drama known as Danda Kanda with the help of Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Gadadhar. This is explained in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, Antya Kanda, 5th chapter. The tomb of Gadadhar Das Pandit, which is the village of Adiyahara, was under the control of the Samayoga Vaishnava and later under the direction of Siddhi Bhagavan Das Babaji of Kalina. By his order, Sri Madhusudan Malik, one of the members of the aristocratic family of the Nigalanda in Calcutta, established a Padvati monastery there in the Bengal in the year 1256. He also arranged for the worship of the deity named Shri Radhakanta. His son Balachandra Mukha established Gaur Nitai deities there in Bengalia 1312. Thus, on the throne of the temple are both Gaur Nityananda deities and Radha Krishna deities. Before the throne is a tablet with the inscription written in Sanskrit. In that temple, there is also the deity of Lord Shiva as Gopeshwar. This is also described on the stone by the side of the entrance door. Shri Gadadhara Dasa Saka Sarvopari Kale Ganera Mukha Yeha Bolola Hari. Translation: Shri Gadadhar Das, the 23rd branch, was understood to be the topmost. He induced all the Mohammedan Qazis to chant the name of Hari. Om Jnanatimarandasya Jnanang Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militan Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jaina Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kayam Adam Dadati Swapadantikam. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschachade Satarine Vancha Kalpatrubhischa Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patito Nam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. I don't feel particularly qualified to speak here today, but seeking the blessings of the Vaishnavas, I can say a few words. Gadadhar Pandit is a very, very exalted associate of Lord Chaitanya. One has to be proper qualified to speak about his qualities. So I take your permission, you can say something. Mukum karoti vachalam pangalangai dabkirim jat kripatam aham vande Shri Guru Dinatharinam. So by the mercy of the spiritual master, someone who is a little bit dumb like me, not very erudite, a bit illiterate, can say a few words. So yesterday we observed the appearance of Gadadhar Prabhu. Originally this class was meant to be yesterday, but we had a Sankirtan class, so I was requested to speak today. And it just so happens that the verse is appropriate about Gadadhar. Gadadhar Pandit is considered one of the close associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Although Mahaprabhu had many, many associates, Gadadhar is considered one of the topmost, and he is considered one of the Pancha Tattva. We chant this mantra, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita, Gadadhar, Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam. So Gadadhar is one of the main feature of the Pancha Tattva. So, who is this Gadadhar Pandit? Why does he hold such a esteemed position in Mahaprabhu's associate? So it is explained in the Caitanya Bhagavat that the reason why Gadadhar is so exalted is because he is none other than Srimati Radhika. Gadadhar Pandit is the incarnation, the bhava of Srimati Radhika. And he appeared in not quite Navadvip, just further down the river Ganges, and he appeared on Amavasya. Amavasya is the dark moon. So he appeared 1 year after Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was 1 year younger than Lord Chaitanya. It is said in the Caitanya Bhagavat that when Lord Chaitanya used to go to school, Gadadhar Pandit was a very, very close friend of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And they used to go to school together. They used to go to the school of Ganga Das Pandit. I don't know if you remember your school days when you were young. You'd always be excited to meet up with your mates and you would walk to school together. I remember I had this routine every day at 8 o'clock. I would meet all my friends and we would chat, yes, we did this, we did that, and you would walk along the path towards the school. So in the same manner, it is explained that Lord Chaitanya and Gadadhar, they would walk to school. However, the nature of Gadadhar Pandit and Lord Chaitanya was very, very different. Gadadhar Pandit, he was very, very serious. He was very, very interested in studying. And he was very, very serious. Whereas Mahaprabhu, he was the local troublemaker. Wherever Mahaprabhu, in his younger days, he would always be pulling different pranks. If the Brahmins were chanting Gayatri in the Ganges, he would come and pull their gumshas. He would come and pull their dhotis. He would come and snap away at their toes as if a crocodile was coming there. So in this way, Mahaprabhu, he was known as a little prankster there. Wherever he went, if the young ladies would go and make some offerings to the Uma deity, Lord Chaitanya would go and steal it and eat the sweets. And when Gadadhar Pandit would find out that Lord Chaitanya was always causing some disturbance in the village, he would try to disassociate himself from Mahaprabhu. He said, I don't want to be part of that, you know. You know, in school you have different groups. Have you ever noticed? You have the nerds over here. You have the guys who are the scholars over here. You have the guys who are just, you know, all different types. They all hang out. So Gadadhar Pandit, he didn't want to be seen associating with Chaitanya because he knew that I don't want to get in with the bad crowd. So on purpose, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go to school, Gadadhar Pandit would just wait until he would go first, or he would go a little bit earlier. So one occasion, Gadadhar Pandit got up a little bit early and he started going to school trying to avoid Mahaprabhu. Of course, this is all transcendental leela because we know that Gadadhar Pandit, he was very, very attached to Lord Chaitanya. But this was just some of the leelas they would be having. So then he would go ahead. And then Lord Chaitanya, as a young boy, he saw Gadadhar. Then he came and he ran after Gadadhar and he took his books. He said, oh, you want to be a student? Yeah, you don't know nothing. He said, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, they will come to my house and they will study under me. You will note that I will be the greatest scholar. What is these things? Then he would ask Gadadhar to say something and then Lord Chaitanya would refute it. Then Gadadhar would not accept it. In this way, they would be arguing one after another. So in this way, in the beginning, even though Gadadhar Pandit was attached to Lord Chaitanya, he would just keep a little distance. However, when Lord Chaitanya came back from Gaya after his initiation, there was a great transformation. Before, he was a little prankster, then he became a scholar. But then when he got initiation and he came back from Gaya, he completely changed. All he was doing was chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And when Gadadhar Pandit found out that Lord Chaitanya had changed, he could not believe his eyes. Not the same Chaitanya I used to know, not the proud scholar. He used to always tease me about my studies. He can't be the same Lord Chaitanya. And everyone in Navadvip was surprised about the transformation of Lord Chaitanya. So they would all come and see. And Gadadhar Pandit, he also came. And when he saw how Lord Chaitanya had changed, and he was becoming more attracted towards Krishna, and he said, yes, this is the Mahaprabhu I want to associate with. So as explained here in the purport, then when Lord Chaitanya, he came back, he inaugurated the Sankirtan movement with Lord Nityananda, with Haridas Thakur, and also Gadadhar Pandit. Although generally when we have the understanding, we always think that Haridas Thakur and Nityananda, they're the ones that would go door to door. But here it is explained, also Gadadhar Pandit would go. So just imagine such an exalted position, such a venerable Vaishnava, yet he would take the humble position of going Sankirtan, going door to door. Sometimes we think, oh yeah, I'm a big devotee now, I don't need to do these things. But here Gadadhar Pandit, here Nityananda, they are showing the example. This preaching mood is very, very important. So in this way, Lord Chaitanya, Gadadhar had many, many pastimes. And it is said that one day Gadadhar Pandit, he came and he bought some pan for Lord Chaitanya. And then when Lord Chaitanya saw Gadadhar, he started asking, where is this Krishna? I want to see Krishna. Please show me where this Krishna is. And he started crying. He wanted to find Krishna. Then Gadadhar Pandit said, Krishna is situated within your heart. And then Mahaprabhu said, he is my heart. Then he started tearing his skin, started trying to find Krishna in my heart. And then as soon as Gadadhar saw this, that he was trying to cause himself some harm, trying to find Krishna within the heart, he immediately pacified Mahaprabhu. My dear Lord, please be patient. I know you're looking for Krishna. Do not cause yourself some harm. Please, please, in good due course of time, you will find Krishna. Shri Radha Gokulananda ki. And while this was going on, Sachimata was observing this. And she ran up to Gadadhar and she said, I want you to be constantly in the company of Mahaprabhu. I don't want you to leave his company, because I know, I have observed, I have seen how you can take care of Mahaprabhu. So taking this instruction, when Lord Chaitanya resided in Jagannath Puri, all the devotees of Kulinagram, Navadvip, Bengal, They would come for the Rath Yatra festival. They would come and see Mahaprabhu. They would go for the Rath Yatra festival. They would stay there for the rainy season. Then after the festival was over, Mahaprabhu met the devotees and he would instruct particularly Lord Nityananda to go and spread the mission of the Sankirtan. However, even though he told all his close associates to go, Gadadhar Pandit was so attached to Mahaprabhu that he did not want to go back to Navadvip. He wanted to stay close to Mahaprabhu. And it is said that he took Kshetra Sannyas. He knew that Mahaprabhu was going to stay there, so he decided to take Kshetra Sannyas. Do you know what Kshetra Sannyas is, anyone? Just stay in one place, not to move. There are different types of sannyasis. Parivrakacharya, like Guru Das, they travel here and there and preach. And there's some which are Kshetra Sannyas. They just stay in one place and they perform their bhajan, their kirtan and their worship. So having accepted that Mahaprabhu is now going to stay in Puri, he did not want to leave Mahaprabhu's association. And thus, he took Kshetra Sannyas, that he could be always in the constant association of Mahaprabhu. And it's explained that when Mahaprabhu stayed in Puri, he would see different various devotees. He would see Haridas Thakur, he would see Sarvabhauma Tapan Mishra, and in the afternoon, after his midday duties, he would make it a point to see Gadadhar Pandit. And in the afternoon, Gadadhar Pandit would be having Srimad Bhagavatam class. Although we have our Srimad Bhagavatam class in the morning, it is said that Gadadhar Pandit every single day in the afternoon would have Srimad Bhagavatam class. And Lord Chaitanya would go and listen to Gadadhar Pandit. And why did he go to Gadadhar Pandit? Because Gadadhar Pandit knew the essence of the Bhagavatam. And he would relish as Gadadhar Pandit delivered the different pastimes. And he said that even though Gadadhar Pandit would go over and over and over the same Leela, Mahaprabhu still accepted each pastime as Nava Yovana, as fresh. Sometimes when we hear pastimes, we think, oh, we already know that pastime. Or sometimes when an appearance day is there, we think, oh, we're going to hear the same story again and again. But here Mahaprabhu gave the example that even though Gadadhar Pandit would repeat the stories, the same stories, Mahaprabhu still, with rapt attention, would listen to the same stories. And these stories, they have an effect on us. Krishna says, Janma Kama Chama Divyam, that one has to know the pastimes of the Lord. And sometimes when we listen to the pastimes of the Lord, we're in a particular frame of mind, we're in a particular situation, so we can take a certain information. Then as we grow older, as we listen it to another time, maybe we can take something else. Maybe we are at a different part in our stage of life. Maybe we have a deeper understanding of Krishna consciousness. So the story, the Leela, will have a more of a deeper meaning. So we should not always take it that, oh, I've heard this story, or let me listen to it again, or no, we should listen it again and again, as Mahaprabhu did. And one day it is explained that when Lord Chaitanya, he went to see Gadadhar Pandit, as he was giving the Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Chaitanya was lost in immersed looking for Krishna. And he shouted to Gadadhar, where is this Krishna? He is Prananath. He is my life and soul. Where can I find this Krishna? And he was searching, is he here, is he there? Then he told Gadadhar, come over here. Then Gadadhar, he came and he said, I want to show you where this Krishna is. Then Gadadhar was so excited, he said, where is this Krishna? And then Mahaprabhu started to dig the sand. And then Gadadhar started helping him. And as they started digging, they came upon some marble. And then they started digging more and more. And there, as they digged around, they found a deity of Krishna. Then Mahaprabhu pulled out this deity and he said, this is your deity. This is your Ishtadev. You worship this deity. Establish a temple here. And Gadadhar established his temple over here. And he named him Gopinath. He was named Gopinath first. Tota Gopinath came later. I'll explain that. So then he named Gopinath. And every day Gadadhar would worship this wonderful deity. Has anyone had the honor of visiting this wonderful temple? It's an amazing, amazing temple over there. We'll speak a little bit more about that. So then in this way, Gadadhar Pandit would enjoy, relish the company of Mahaprabhu. And when Mahaprabhu was going to South India, Gadadhar Pandit, he also wanted to go with the Lord. And then Lord Chaitanya said, but you cannot go. Why can you not go? Because he had taken a vow that I will not leave Jagannath Puri. So even though Gadadhar Pandit felt great separation from Lord Chaitanya, he wanted to break his vow just to be with Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya said, no, you please stay. You have to fulfill your vow. Because Lord Chaitanya was very, very strict. If you took a vow, then he wanted to make sure that you kept your vow. So then one day, Mahaprabhu was feeling intense separation from Krishna. This was the mood of Mahaprabhu towards the end of his Leela. He was always feeling different vipralamba, separation. And when you having this separation, different bodily symptoms start to affect you. One of them is, anyone knows? If you're missing someone deeply, what is one of the symptoms of the body? Think about somebody you miss. What kind of symptoms does your body go through? You cry, isn't it? If you miss somebody so much, sometimes you start to cry. So it is said that when Lord Chaitanya was missing Krishna, he would start to cry. Tears would flow from his eyes. And another symptom is your body starts to shake. Another symptom is you start to sweat. When you miss somebody, you start to cry, tears come. Sometimes you can't think properly. Sometimes you start to shake. And sometimes it is explained that Lord Chaitanya, his whole body would go in different shapes. His arms would become long. And it is said that when Lord Chaitanya would be experiencing this deep vipralamba, these emotions of separation from Krishna, Gadadhar Pandit, he would come and he would recite a particular verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam, and this would bring Mahaprabhu back in his external consciousness. So Gadadhar Pandit was always there, constantly, helping Mahaprabhu, assisting him in his Leela in Jagannath Puri. As explained over here, Gadadhar Pandit was preaching, one of the Qazis, probably another Qazi, just like Chand Qazi, and it said that this Qazi was inimical towards the devotees. So then, as explained here, he went to the Qazi and he said, "My dear Qazi, please chant Hare Krishna." And the Qazi said, "Yes, I will chant Hare Krishna tomorrow." Lord Gadadhar, he was laughing in ecstasy. He said, "Why tomorrow? You have already chanted Hare Krishna." So in this way, just by the association of a pure Vaishnava like Gadadhar, the Chand Qazi, he was transformed. And we know that Gadadhar Pandit, he took initiation from Pundrik. So it's an interesting story. When Gadadhar Pandit heard of Pundrik Vidyanidhi, he found out that he was a very, very elevated person. He was very, very attached to Krishna. So his friend, Mukunda Datta, they were also very, very good close friends. Whenever a great Vaishnava would come to Navadvip, Mukunda and Gadadhar, they would go and listen. This is the tradition in the Vaishnava culture. When a devotee would come, when a senior devotee would come, then you would go and listen and take his sangha, his association. So then Gadadhar was very, very excited to go and meet Pundrik Vidyanidhi. And when he went to see Pundrik Vidyanidhi, he was a little bit surprised. He was a little bit doubtful. How can this be an elevated devotee? Why? Because Pundrik Vidyanidhi, he dressed himself in the finest silken cloth. He had very, very opulent appearance. He was surrounded by very, very opulent people. And at glance, when you see this, you would think, this is a prince or a king. This is not a devotee. So Gadadhar said, "No, I don't want to listen to him." Then he went away. Then Mahaprabhu realized that Gadadhar had made this offense. We should never judge somebody on an external basis. What we see in our eyes is only a limited vision. What is in someone's heart, we cannot tell. So it is very, very important lesson that we must not judge. We judge so quickly. And I know I judge. Especially the time when someone is giving class, we sometimes look through the window and say, "Oh, he's giving class, forget it. I'll just do something else, I'll chant my rounds." It's true, I know, I've done it myself. But you don't know that when that person is giving a class, even if somebody you might know, you might not even get on with, you might think, or whatever, that person might able to give you some valuable gem. It is said that you can even take gold from a dirty place. So we must be very careful not to judge anyone. So then Mukunda was a little bit disappointed that Gadadhar went away with this mentality. Then he conceived a plan that Gadadhar was again in the presence of Pundrik, and Mukunda chanted one particular verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, and as soon as the name Krishna was mentioned, then immediately Pundrik Vidyanidhi went into ecstasy. He started shouting Krishna, he started fainting. And the symptoms of a Mahapurusha who is in ecstasy started to manifest to Pundrik Vidyanidhi. So in this way, Gadadhar realized, actually, even though I had judged this person, actually he has a great, deep, loving attachment for Krishna. So then he didn't know what to do. I had made a great offense. How can I atone for this offense? And he realized the only way I can atone from this offense is if I can accept him as my spiritual master. So then Mukunda Datta, he went and he talked to Pundranik Vidyanidhi and explained the glories of Gadada, and he said he wants to take initiation from him. And in this way Gadada took initiation from Pundranik Vidyanidhi. So it is quite interesting that although we worship Go Nitai, in an esoteric, deeper meaning, actually, Go Gadada is on a different level. Lord Chaitanya's relationship with Nityananda is like a Vatsalya rasa. Lord Nityananda is chastising Mahaprabhu, sometimes in a servant, like the Danda pastime where he broke the Danda, said Mahaprabhu, so he was all acting like an older brother. So that's like a Vatsalya. With Advaita, it was more like Dasya relationship. Even though Advaita was senior, his relationship with Mahaprabhu was always like a Dasya, servant. And then Shivas was also in the same mood of Seva, Dasya. But it is explained that the pastimes of Gadada and Gora were on the conjugal. So if you look at this particular poster or this painting, we can see that Lord Chaitanya is in the middle, and then on the left is Gadada. So just like we have Krishna, then on the left we have Srimati Radharani. So in the same way, Go Gadada can also be seen as Radha and Krishna. And this was the understanding of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Bhaktisiddhanta describes that Bhaktivinoda Thakur could understand that this Gora Gadada form is a very, very special, elevated form. It actually unites Mahaprabhu, who is searching for who? Krishna. And then if you put Lord Chaitanya and Gadada together, then you complete that mood, that form that Lord Chaitanya is looking for. So Gadada, Go Gadada was worshipped by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So there is one very, very nice song by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He writes, and one of the verses, Smara Gaura Gadadhara Keli Kalam Bhava Gaura Gadadhara Paksha Charam Shuni Gaura Gadadhara Charakatam Bhajagodru Makanana Kunja Vidum. So here Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying that you should remember Gaura Gadada, the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya and Gadada. They're very, very unique. One should speak about the pastimes. One should listen about the pastimes of Gaura and Gadada. And ultimately, if you are on that elevated high platform, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, then you can even worship Gaura Gadada, because they represent Radha and Krishna. So in conclusion, what can we take from the life of Gadada Pandit? What lessons can we imbibe from the personality of Gadada Pandit? The first lesson that we can take is how Gadada mistakenly judged Pundranik Vidyanidhi. So we have to be careful in our daily lives. We don't also judge people, especially Vaishnavas. Devotees are very, very rare. And we should be careful that we don't judge them. The other important lesson is the importance of reading or listening to Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord Chaitanya and Gadadhar would relish the pastimes which are described there in the Srimad Bhagavatam. It is said that if we can understand, study, know the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam, then we will find that Krishna consciousness we're looking for. So although life is very, very busy, we have so much to do, there's so many books out there to study, Srimad Bhagavatam is the essence of all the scriptures known. And that is why Lord Chaitanya would study the Srimad Bhagavatam. And the other is the attachment that Gadadhar had for Mahaprabhu. So it is important that we imbibe this attachment to Mahaprabhu. If you want to have this Krishna Bhakti, this Krishna Prema, then it can only be achieved through the understanding of Mahaprabhu and his teachings. So we can take this here today with us and try and remember Smara, Gaura, Gadadhar. Remember the pastimes of Gaura and Gadadhar. So thank you very much. I'll take a few moments, and if anyone has any questions, comments, complaints.